Welcome to the Native GIS podcast, a podcast where we decode the short, big ideas behind how maps, data, and AI are quietly reshaping the world around us. So, today's podcast topic is, so grab your coffee, settle in, and let's get into
If you look in the glove box of an old car, you might still find a dusty folded-up paper map.
Yeah, probably buried under some old napkins or something.
Right. And for decades, that's exactly how we treated city infrastructure, just a static record. But today, we're doing a deep dive into some really fascinating sources on how those dead maps are basically dying out, replaced by this living autonomous nervous system for your whole city.
Exactly. We're looking at the convergence of digital twins and GeoAI in 2026.
Which is wild to think about.
It really is. I mean, the shift here is moving from simply logging historical geography to interacting with what is basically a pulsating organism. But that shift initially broke our infrastructure.
How so? Like, what actually broke?
Well, legacy databases, things like PostGIS, they just choke when you try to feed them millisecond-level IoT data.
Oh, right, because it's just too much too fast.
Yeah, the latency and costs just skyrocket. And traditional tools force you to think like a hardcore software developer just to pull, basic spatial insights.
Okay, let's unpack this for a second. If standard AI, like a RAG pipeline, is already so good at pulling insights from massive data sets, I'd assume we could just plug one into a city's data stream.
You would think so, right?
Yeah, I mean, if an AI can read a maintenance manual and tell me a water pump is broken, why can't I just ask it where the closest backup pump is? It feels like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut when we overcomplicate it.
Right, but standard AI fails here because it's mathematically blind to physical coordinates.
Wait, mathematically blind? How does that work?
Yeah, it relies entirely on text embeddings, so that leads to what the sources call semantic conflation.
Semantic conflation, okay. What does that actually look like in practice?
Well, the AI might confidently link two water pump stations because their manuals share similar keywords, but it completely misses the fact that they are physically 20 miles apart.
Oh, wow. So using standard AI for a spatial problem is like trying to navigate a city using only an alphabetized phone book.
That is a perfect way to put it. You have all the data, but zero sense of where anything actually is.
So how do you force the model to actually understand physical space?
You have to upgrade to spatial RAG. It combines text embeddings with actual geometry vectors.
Oh, so calculating semantic relevance and physical distance at the same time.
Exactly. And to pull this off seamlessly, the architecture relies on a multi-agent framework.
Which is basically like a restaurant kitchen tree.
Yeah, you can think of it like that. The interpretation agent is the waiter taking your messy spatial query.
Right.
Then the code generation agent is the chef translating that into strict spatial SQL.
And there's a reviewer too, right?
Yeah, the review agent. They are like the expediter tasting the dish. They run a sandbox dry run with a limit 10 clause to validate the spatial logic before it ever hits your table.
Okay, and that real-time validation isn't just happening on a server somewhere. It is actively being used to reshape physical cities right now, which is where it gets really interesting for your everyday life.
Oh, absolutely. Look at what the Municipal Corporation of Delhi is doing.
With the drones, right?
Yeah, they're flying drones to build a massive 3D digital twin to audit property taxes.
Because a paper tax record might only show a two-story house.
Exactly. But when the AI cross-references that paper record with the 3D twin, it instantly flags that the owner, secretly built a third floor.
Wow.
It forces accountability by matching physical reality with the database.
And we're seeing this deployed at a massive environmental scale, too, like the Ganga River Basin.
Yeah, the Indian Institute of Technology Delhi is building a twin of the entire basin.
And they pipe live IoT sensors and satellite feeds directly into the twin for real-time flood and drought forecasting, right?
We do. Or take proactive bridge maintenance, which, affects anyone who drives.
Oh, right, using live sensor APIs.
Yeah, feeding into platforms like ArcGIS Velocity. So instead of waiting for a stress fracture to become a crisis, engineers can anticipate repairs before the bridge even cracks.
Which is amazing, but it also brings up a terrifying scenario. If we are handing over infrastructure management to these autonomous models, a hallucination isn't just a funny chatbot error.
No, it's a massive risk. If an AI hallucinates a water valve location during a flooding emergency, that is catastrophic.
So how do we physically keep it from making things up?
Well, the sources talk about spatial hallucination, where the AI acts like a sarcastic parrot.
Inventing an intersection that physically doesn't exist.
Right. You stop this through strict schema grounding.
Schema grounding, so restricting the AI.
Exactly. You restrict the agent so it can only query verified, immutable GIS layers.
So it's not allowed to just guess.
No, it must mathematically prove the spatial relationship using those established geometry vectors we talked about.
But even with strict grounding, the model's physical context has to matter. I mean, a model trained heavily on traffic flows in New York City is going to fail miserably if you drop it into Mumbai.
Oh, completely. The climate, the terrain, the human behaviors are entirely different.
Right.
That is a massive hurdle called spatial heterogeneity. Plus, there's the black box problem.
Where you can't explain the logic.
Yeah, if city planners can't explain the AI's predictive logic to regulators, they simply aren't allowed to use it.
Which makes sense. But knowing the incredible power and these catastrophic risks, what does this mean for the human workforce moving forward?
Well, the traditional button-clicking GIS technician role is effectively obsolete.
Because autonomous agents are handling the manual queries and SQL generation now.
Right. So the career frontier has entirely shifted. The industry now needs spatial systems auditors.
Someone who writes those strict grounding protocols.
Yeah, and audits the models to prevent skewed training data, like geographic bias, where a model only really understands Western urban layouts.
Wow. Well, that leaves you with a fascinating question to mull over. If our physical world is constantly being mapped, monitored, and governed by this living, autonomous AI twin, well, how long until the digital twin stops just reflecting our physical reality and starts dictating the design of it?
That's a huge thought.
Yeah. You might want to hold on to that dusty paper map in your glove box a little while longer.
Workflows. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on the latest in AI and GIS. See you in the next video.